Good morning. I'm a student of LLM International Commercial Law and Dispute Resolution, and today I shall be presenting on gender pay gap concerns in Pakistan. The topic shall outline various gender pay gap laws in Pakistan, along with those of that in the United Kingdom, some international obligations, followed by a way forward and certain recommendations. I shall begin with the topic question. What is the topic question? Pakistan is a developing nation and it is struggling hard to mitigate the concerns of gender wage gap. However, are the incumbent legislative documents potent, or do they stand as dead letters in the light of obligations set by ILO, that is International Labour Organization? I believe that Pakistan hustles for elimination of discrimination. However, neither the incumbent legislative documents nor the implementation mechanism stands futile in comparison to the United Kingdom and other like jurisdictions. The United Kingdom will further be discussed in the following slides. What is gender wage gap? Gender wage gap is the average difference in remuneration between working men and women. Gender wage gap exists in Pakistan. Pakistan is the epicenter of discrimination, including all sorts of discriminations. Women in Pakistan earn 34% less than those of their male counterparts, according to Gender Wage Report 2017. However, the actual figure may differ. When women in Pakistan continue to be subjected to all forms of discriminations, including gender wage gap. According to International Labour Organization, Pakistan is one of the highest disparity nations in the world. But the question is, what has the state done so far? In the light of Article 25 of the Constitution of Pakistan, there shall be no discrimination on the basis of gender. This is a very general provision and does not specifically cater gender wage gap. However, it can be taken as a guideline as it talks about elimination of all sorts of discriminations against women. Moving further, under the heading of Principles of Policy, Constitution of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Article 37, Subclause E provides for just conditions of work for women along with certain maternity benefits. Certain maternity benefits are also discussed under various provincial legislations. However, they do not talk about gender wage gap. Now I shall discuss the Minimum Wages Ordinance 1961. What is the Minimum Wages Ordinance 1961? The Minimum Wages Ordinance 1961 is a sole federal legislative document that talks about payment of wages. However, the sole federal legislative document does not cover gender wage gap. There are certain implications in the ordinance about gender wage gap that can be drawn out as guidelines, no explicit provisions. After the 18th Amendment of Constitution of Pakistan, it is now the domain of provinces to deal with labor laws. What have the provinces done so far on gender wage gap? Firstly, I shall discuss the KPK Minimum Wages Act, that is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Minimum Wages Act. Under Section 26 of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Minimum Wages Act, there shall be no discrimination in payment of wages on the basis of gender. There are also other certain implications in the Act that can be drawn out as guidelines as previously mentioned. Moving further, we have the Sindh Minimum Wages Act. The Sindh Minimum Wages Act also endorses the same principle, that is, there shall be no discrimination in payment of wages on the basis of gender under Section 20, subsection 3. However, neither the Balochistan Minimum Wages Act nor the Punjab Minimum Wages Act provide for any provision regarding gender wage gap. Both of these provinces remain lawless in this regard. Now I shall discuss two prominent case laws. Number 1. Ms. Atiya Khan Bibi versus Federation of Pakistan. In Ms. Atiya Khan Bibi versus Federation of Pakistan, Rana Bhagwan Das, a prominent Supreme Court justice, upheld the principle of Article 25 of Constitution of Pakistan and provided that there shall be no discrimination on the basis of gender. However, the judgment does not specifically talk about gender wage gap. It also sets a general guideline, that is, there shall be no discrimination on the basis of gender. Moving further, we have Ms. McKenzie versus Audrey D. Costa. In Ms. McKenzie versus Audrey D. Costa, the court held that female stenographers who were discharging the same nature of work as their male counterparts were not to be discriminated in payment of wages on the basis of their gender. It also held that no agreement which granted the opportunity to the employer to discriminate in payment of wages on the basis of gender was to be held valid. It was void. These are the two prominent case laws that I have mentioned in the slides. Moving further, now I shall discuss the UK's anti-discriminatory laws. UK is a far developed nation than Pakistan. It obviously has a better legislative approach and a better implementation mechanism. According to the Constitution of UK, there shall be no discrimination in payment of remuneration among all the working classes. It provides that there shall be no discrimination in payment of wages to both men and women for discharging same or similar nature of work. It does not just cover same, it also covers similar nature of work, that is, broadening the horizon of the subject. Moving further, now I shall discuss the UK's Equality Act 2010. The UK's Equality Act 2010 consolidated the former pieces of legislation on the subject and now exists as a sole document that talks about elimination of all sorts of discriminations, including gender wage gap. It legally entitles both working men and women to be entitled to same remuneration for same or similar nature of work. It also does not just cover same, it also covers similar nature of work. That is, the horizon is broadened. I have also mentioned a case study in the slide. That is, claimant Birkenhead was an overnight celebrity after she put forth a claim before the House of Lords. This was the first of the kind because it firstly talked about gender wage gap in the United Kingdom. It initially gained a lot of recognition. Moving further, now I shall discuss the international obligations on Pakistan. Pakistan has ratified to around 36 labor conventions, including the Convention on Remuneration and the Discrimination Convention, that is Convention number 100 and Convention number 111. Both of these conventions provide for the same principle, that is equal opportunity for women in occupation, vocational training, remuneration, etc. Pakistan has also ratified to the Convention on Elimination of All Sorts of Discrimination Against Women in 1996. What does the Vision 2005 provide? The Vision 2005 emphasizes on the same principle, that is equality of women in economy and eradication of any sort of harassment against women. Yet the question remains the same, that is, has the state done enough? I have also consolidated different pieces of scattered legislations which provide for the same principle, that is, there shall be no discrimination in payment of wages on the basis of gender. These provisions are from the Hungarian Labour Code, the Bulgarian Labour Code, the Romanian Labour Code, the Czech Labour Code, and the German Labour Code. All of these provisions provide for the same, that is, no discrimination in payment of wages on the basis of gender. Pakistan can take these provisions as examples. Lastly, what are the steps that the state can take in order to eradicate this dogma? I believe first and foremost, which is very general, that is creating awareness and broadening knowledge. People in Pakistan are generally not aware of their rights and their duties. Even if there is a piece of legislation right in front of them, they won't know what it says. They won't know what the law says. So I believe with proper awareness and with proper education schemes, the state may flourish in this regard. The employees as well as the employers need to know of their duties as well as their rights. They need to know what is gender wage gap and they need to know how will they eradicate this dogma. Furthermore, I also believe that with proper job evaluation schemes and proper assessment schemes, there may be a way forward for the state. With proper assessment schemes, the state may have a better know-how of where it stands, and it may take better steps for promoting equality. I believe that the labor structure in Pakistan yearns for progression. However, there are many causes attached to it. There are many causes attached that do not make it happen. For instance, monopoly, prejudices, etc. But with proper evaluation and proper assessment, the state may have a better know-how of where it stands, as I have previously discussed. I also believe that Pakistan is in dire need of a consolidated piece of legislation that will talk about all of the discriminations and that will also talk about elimination of these discriminations along with civil remedies in case of breach. I believe that like the UK's Equality Act 2010, Pakistan should also have a consolidated piece of legislation regarding gender wage gap and other discriminations. I also believe that Pakistan needs yearly regulations on the subject, that is proper assessment of where the state stands in comparison to the past year. I also believe that Pakistan cannot strive alone with a better legislative approach. It also needs a better implementation mechanism, because there are many examples in Pakistan where there does exist adequate legislation. However, there is no proper implementation mechanism. So along with adequate legislation, Pakistan also needs a proper implementation mechanism to ensure that those laws are being implemented properly. There is a lot that needs to be done. However, with proper education, awareness, job evaluation, assessment, implementation, and proper laws, I think the state may take a step forward. Thank you. I hope you liked the content.